He's entering his 4th inning. It is Jake O'Connor who's warming up for the Dragons in the bullpen. So in case this goes awry for McMahon, you have to imagine head coach Ryan Dio enlists the bullpen early because this Amsterdam squad can absolutely unload. As the ball is upstairs. It's a 2-0 count now to Sebastian Hardin. He's the guy that came around to score the sole run in today's ball game. Ignore the scoreboard is wrong, doing some technical difficulties here at Shuttleworth Park as the 2-0 pitch is inside. The count now draws 3-0. And now the 3-0 pitch bounced in the dirt, gets away from Jones. And Hardin starts it with a leadoff walk. So now a pinch hit spot for Amsterdam. It'll be Jaden Harriel taking over the DH responsibilities for Brad Curtis. Harriel so far this year, he's hitting .274. He's got 5 doubles to his name. How about 17 RBIs as well? You watch as the first pitch strike. They'll go check on Hardin at first. As Hardin is just dancing around over at first. The infield finally tells him to just step off and reset. McMahon getting all sort of confused. The 0-1 hit down the line, but it's foul. Was hit with some pace over along the third baseline, but bounces on the turf and over towards the Dragons bullpen with, again, it's Jake O'Connor who's getting warm in case things go wrong for Colin McMahon. The starter has made it through 3 innings of work and been absolutely stellar through those 3 innings. So even with that 1 run, has just kept the ball out of the air, held this Amsterdam team really limitless. If it wasn't for almost a mental mistake, but really the smart play from Aiden Gallagher, not realizing that Hardin had fallen down between third and first, this would be a tie ball game. Instead, it is 1-0, or excuse me, 0-2 to Harriel. McMahon comes set, takes a look at Hardin. As he's on the move, the 0-2 is popped up into foul territory. Galello goes over, but it's going to get well foul and over into the skybox. A couple of fans get a souvenir that just sneaks out over the Mohawks bullpen, or excuse me, the Mohawks dugout. And we'll redo the 0-2 as Hardin works his way back to first. Hardin's got 8 stolen bases this year, so he knows how to swipe a bag or two. He's now getting some communication is Harriel down to the third base coach. McMahon gets the first sign to come set, takes one quick look over at first. The 0-2. This one's popped up a mile high out into shallow right field. Falcon comes in a couple of steps, and he's got it for out number 1. So Luke Filippi steps into the box, and if you're Colin McMahon, you'd love to do that a couple of more times with Glens Falls playing 8 consecutive games starting today. They need to reserve as many pitchers as they can. No more double headers, which is the good news. Bad news again, those 8 straight games, 4 straight of them will be at home. It starts tomorrow, Thursday, July 17th through Sunday. It's 4 straight home games for the Dragons before they hit the road 2 more times to Oneonta and Utica before coming back and playing Utica again to round out this 8-game stretch. The other real good news is a couple of events we got going on. And the game on Friday is against the Albany Athletics. Does not count. Hit and run in play, and it gets over the third baseman, Diaz, and into left. Harden is going to get to third. Runner's going to advance to third, and a throwing error by Enrique Diaz. Out to Falcon to throw home, not in time. Matt Gonzalez screams to Enrique Diaz and says, "What are you doing?" He looks at his clipboard, looks down, and Amsterdam now has a 2-0 lead. Diaz picks up his 4th error of the season, and it's really been a rough year for Enrique Diaz at the hot corner. So Filippi will get a single and an advance on the error. Harden will score also on the error as the first pitch now to the top of the lineup in Chris Holcraft almost runs upstairs to hit the shortstop. The second error of the ball game for Glens Falls allows the second run to come home and score. The 1-0 in the dirt. Jones does a good job to keep it in front. So Harden now is responsible for both runs. Filippi is responsible for both runs batted in. The bottom of this Amsterdam lineup really putting the team on their back. Holcraft, who's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. Takes a big cut at the 2-0 pitch. McMahon again in his 4th inning of work has got an out already. And Dragons would love for him to get another couple, but don't think the game plan was for him to see a 3rd time through this Amsterdam lineup. Takes a look at second. The 2-1. Outside, Jones picks it well. The 3-1 upstairs for ball 4, and Holcraft will take his 2nd free pass of the day. It's the 5th walk issued by Colin McMahon. And it brings up the heart of this lineup as Brandon McCrane steps in. He's 0 for 2 today. McCrane had that really hard hit foul ball down the 3rd baseline that just landed foul, a couple of feet further right, and that's a double for the right fielder. He's got a runner in scoring position with only 1 out. He watches a breaking ball inside. The 1-0 is popped up into foul territory. Diaz goes over. He's get called off by Carpier's, who brings it in for out number 2 and runs it over towards the pitcher, McMahon. So Diaz had a good read on it, but the shortstop called him off, and Carpier's grabs it with Matt Gonzalez making his way down towards the Dragons bullpen. O'Connor has been warming up for the past inning and a half, so taking a couple of pitches off to now see if McMahon can indeed get through the 4th. And now Bray Touchstone, who's 2 for 2 with 2 singles today, steps into the dish. The first pitch he sees is a breaking ball low. Touchstone sets up in the box pretty much on the line and doesn't disappear like it does on your traditional turf, but his toes are as far back in the box and on that line. He gets as close as humanly possible. See if McMahon can utilize the inside half. The 1-0 is high, gets straight past Jones off the backstop as both runners will move 90 feet forward. So now the wild pitch puts Philippi at third, Holcraft at second, and Touchstone, who's got 2 outs, could use a third single to bring in another 2. Touchstone this year, how about 30 RBIs at Leeds, Amsterdam this season? But there's also a free base open in case McMahon would rather face John McKillop, who's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a strikeout. The 2-0 is chopped on the ground. McMahon tried to grab it barehanded, but it's into center for a base knock. Both runners will come home to score, and Bray Touchstone has doubled Amsterdam's lead. They've got it 4-0, and just like that, head coach Ryan Dio comes out, and that'll end Colin McMahon's day. So an RBI single for Bray Touchstone puts Amsterdam on top 4-0 as Jake O'Connor comes out of the bullpen to take over. So Jake O'Connor takes over the duties on the mound for Colin McMahon. And his first pitch that he throws to the lefty, John McKillop, is upstairs for ball 1. So McMahon went 3 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned, walked 5, and struck out 4. The 1-0 is lined into right field and gets down for a base knock. Touchstone going first to third. We'll put runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. McKillop welcomes O'Connor to today's ball game with a base hit. And now Will Cowan steps in. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out on the infield, and he drew a walk his last time. The first pitch is a breaking ball hitting the top of the zone. O'Connor so far this season at times has been hit around a little bit. But other times he has really stepped up, especially out of the bullpen. He does have an 8.79 ERA, but that's across 9 innings. Or, excuse me, across 9 appearances in 14 1/3 innings. He's given up about a run an inning. But the walk numbers have been down. It's really been the big hits that he's given up. He's given up 5 doubles and 16 hits through that stretch. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. Connor has also given up a .281 opponent batting average against, so it's not been ideal. And on the fact that O'Connor has hit 6 batters, more than anybody else for the Dragons. They'll go check over with McKillop at first, even with 2 outs. McKillop, in theory, could take second, and O'Connor just focus on the batter. McKillop, the first baseman, doesn't have a stolen base attempt, so maybe just a precautionary check, as the 1-2 is in there for strike 3. So O'Connor gives up a single to the first batter he faces, but then strikes out. Will Cowan, looking, picks up his first strikeout of the day as we head to the 5th inning. Welcome back to Rao Family Stadium here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. Jack Kirchner's day has come to a close after 4 innings of work, giving up just 1 hit, striking out 5, not giving up a free pass. He hands the ball over to number 13, Jesse Kuzmich. He's got to face Jackson Mueller as his first batter, and he's got him in an early 0-2 count. Kuzmich has got a 5.11 ERA through 12 1/3 innings. This will be his 9th appearance of the year as he gets Mueller swinging at the 0-2 pitch well outside. And Kuzmich picks up strikeout number 12 of the season and makes Mueller have 21 Ks. That leads the Dragons now. So the right fielder, Chase Falcon, will step into the box. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout today as well. Falcon watches the first pitch strike. The 0-1. This one's lined into center field for a base knock. Chase Falcon picks up his first hit of the day, and maybe Glens Falls starting to get some momentum. Their second single puts a runner on first with only 1 out. For a team that started against Amsterdam back on Saturday with so much momentum because of that Tyree Jackson home run, today has been quite the opposite, shut down by electric pitching. Now the Dragons need to hope to get to Amsterdam's bullpen. Ryan Jones, the catcher, steps up. He grounded out just short in front of home plate. He watches the first pitch strike. Got to apologize about some of these technical difficulties. Scoreboard not working here. So just keep giving you updated as they're going to go check over at first with Falcon. Falcon was slowly creeping off the bag over at first, but the right fielder was able to get back in safely. Falcon does have 2 stolen bags this year. He's been caught once as well. The 0-1 swung on and missed. Jones was just over the top of that breaking ball, and now he's in an 0-2 count. The 0-2 bounced in the dirt. Touchstone does a good job to keep it in front. So Kuzmich looking for his second strikeout out of the bullpen. And he gets it. Jones goes down swinging for the first time. And Kuzmich has got 2 strikeouts here in the 5th inning. So in steps the 9-hole hitter, Michael Sweeney. He's 0 for 1. Had a chopped ground ball to short. He almost beat it out, but Chris Holcraft made an excellent play. They're going to go Checo and Falcon over at first, who gets back in with ease. And Kuzmich checks on first. The 1-0. Breaking ball. Hits the top of the zone. Amsterdam has done a good job at throwing those off-speed pitches at the Dragons' head, and they just scoop right back in the top part of that zone. They've stolen a lot of strikes and a couple of outs that way. The 1-1 bounced in the dirt. Falcon got an excellent secondary, but decided not to go. Head coach Ryan Dio is a little bit further down the third baseline than normal. He's about halfway to home. Trying to get a good read with Falcon, who looks primed to steal second. The 2-1, Falcon not on the move, chopped over towards the third baseline, but foul. So Deuce is wild again here in the top of the 5th. There's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jesse Kuzmich has got 2 strikeouts in the inning. He's looking for his 3rd. Sweeney looking to add some offense for the Dragons. The pitch. Runs inside and nails Sweeney. First hit by pitch of the day. It's Kuzmich's 3rd of the season. Puts runners on first and second with 2 outs as the lineup turns over for the Dragons. The center fielder, number 25, Tyree Jackson. So any bit of momentum is helpful, and with an aggressive batter like Tyree Jackson, you'll know he'll be swinging away against the new pitcher. The first pitch to Jackson is a breaking ball at the top half of the zone for strike 1. Jackson's 0 for 2 today, reached via an error, and then flew out to his counterpart in center. The 0-1. This one's popped foul. It'll get well over the top of the bleachers and in towards the parking lot. Falcon is getting a very large lead at second. The 0-2. Outside, gets behind Touchstone behind the plate. Both runners will advance 90 feet and put 2 runners in scoring position with Tyree Jackson. Jackson's got 6 RBIs this season across his 15 games. He picks up a single. He could cut the deficit in half. The 1-2 bounced in the dirt. Touchstone does a good job to keep it in front. He loses it, but it stays close to home, and the runners won't go anywhere. Falcons aggressive on the base paths, moving around quite a bit. Jackson, who today has been unlike him normal self, waiting for what he thinks is that right pitch. Kuzmich comes set, doesn't even take a look at the runners. The 2-2 is fouled off. So we can replay again. And this is the 20th pitch of the inning for Jesse Kuzmich. If the Dragons want to start offense, it's going to happen against this Amsterdam bullpen. They've had a couple of arms that have come out and been stellar, but Kuzmich, one of just a handful of guys that have an ERA above 5. The 2-2 to Jackson. He just reaches, gets this one foul, and it'll get out of play. So Jackson doing everything he can to stay alive. We'll redo the 2-2. So Jackson in the box. Kuzmich shakes off the first pitch he sees. Comes set. The 2-2 is chopped over towards third. A lot of speed from Jackson. The throw across the diamond over the head of the first baseman, McKillop. 2 runs will come home to score. And Glens Falls has cut this lead in half. It's 4-2 here at Shuttleworth Park. You knew it was going to be a tough play with the speed of Tyree Jackson down first base. He'll reach. Imagine that one's going to go down as an error. Got to wait for the official score. And we'll say it's the 3rd error of the day for the 3rd baseman, Will Cowett. 2nd time Tyree Jackson has been a beneficiary because of it. So Jackson gets all the way to 2nd on the throwing error, and now the best hitter in Glens Falls' lineup, Aiden Gallagher, can bring him home to make it a 1-run ball game. So Falcons scored, Sweeney scored. It's now 4-2 with Jackson on 2nd and Gallagher in the box. The 2-0 pitch, the 0-1 pitch is outside. The count is even at 1 apiece. The 1-1 outside. Gallagher today, he's 0 for 2. He reached via an error and went down looking. Perfect time for him to pick up what would be his first hit of the day. He lines that one into right field. It gets down for a base knock. Dio is sending Jackson home, but now he's going to put up the stop sign. So the best hitter in Glens Falls lineup does his job, puts one into right field for a single, and that'll put runners on the corners with 2 outs. And now Jesse Kuzmich, who's got that 5 ERA, struggled out of the bullpen, is going to enlist the pitching coach for Amsterdam, Zach Breen, to come have a conversation with his squad. Nick Galello is the gentleman who's stepping into the box with runners on the corner. Galello has got a lot of pop. One of just 8 players in the entire PGCBL with 3+ homers this season. That's why Galello is hitting in the 3-hole. He has earned his way up there. He's got just 9 RBIs this season. He's done most of those via the long ball. But he's hitting .278. He has done a great job of hitting the ball well. He's only got 2 walks on the year, so hasn't done a good job of necessarily getting on base, but when he's got runners in scoring position like he does, he's done an excellent job at bringing them in. The first pitch Galello sees is upstairs for ball one. You see an arm for Amsterdam warming in their bullpen, and it's a lefty up and moving. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Galello. The lefty for Amsterdam is Nolan Felt, who threw against Glens Falls the last time they played in a full game, and he got the 6-out save. The 1-1, runners on the move, and not. Gallagher gets back in safely. He got Kuzmich dancing, and maybe a risky play from head coach Ryan Dio to think about a first and third play with 2 outs if Gallagher can strand himself out there and give Jackson enough time to score. It would make it a 1-run ball game. Gallagher again on the move, throw back, Jackson not going. Gallagher this season does have 13 stolen bases. So we know he's got speed, the outfielder does. As it's a 1-1 pitch to Nick Galello, is upstairs. Galello's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out. Big chance for Galello as he takes a half-hearted swing, and the home plate umpire says he went around. Galello's hands were well behind him. The bat had no chance of clearing. But home plate umpire says he went too far anyway. So the count will even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gallagher steps off, and now you see that first and third play. Jackson's coming home, a throw, and they get the tag. Risky play from Ryan Dio, who spikes his helmet in frustration. And now he's got some words for his dugout. A couple of curse words are flown from the head boss. And for a team that hasn't beaten Amsterdam in their last 24 tries, so close to making it a 1-run ball game, instead, it'll stay 4-2 as we enter the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back to Rao Family Stadium here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. The sun is continuing to set as the Dragons cut the deficit in half. They now trail 4-2 as we enter the bottom of the 5th. Jake O'Connor goes back out there for his first full inning of work. He came in, gave up a single to John McKillop, but then got Will Cowan looking as the first pitch he throws to John Young Jr. is inside for ball 1. So O'Connor going out for that first full frame at a fresh start after his offense went and got him a couple of runs. That one's chopped foul down the first baseline. Galello does a good job to grab it. So the Dragons, who had runners on first and third, tried an extended first and third play. Gallagher stepped off the bag, got into a rundown, but Jackson never went home. Then as soon as he decided to, an excellent throw from Young Jr. to home, stranded the center fielder, and instead keeps this a 2-run ball game. The second baseman, Young Jr., now at the plate, can do some offensive damage, maybe help get those 2 runs back. Took a square to a bunt, but pulled back as he watched ball 2. Then he watches ball 3 upstairs. The 3-1. This one's weakly popped up into shallow left center field. Back goes Carpier's, who settles underneath it and grabs it right in front of Gallagher. So the shortstop Carpier's making some excellent defensive plays today. Brings it in for out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th. The left fielder, Sebastian Hardin, steps to the dish. He's 1 for 1 today with a single and a walk. Hardin's responsible for 2 of the 4 runs, both the first 2 to come around and score. He watches the first pitch strike in the top of the zone. Something Jake O'Connor does excellent is getting those first pitch strikes and working very quickly on the mound. As soon as he catches, he'll come set, wasting no times on an absolutely scorching night here in Amsterdam. The 0-1 pitch misses upstairs. The 1-1 gets away from Jones behind the plate. It's about as high as 90 earlier today. And skies were opened up. First time in a while, it seems like. No clouds in the sky. A couple of them coming in, but no rain anticipated. As the 3-1 from O'Connor is outside. It's the second walk issued to Sebastian Hardin. And it's not good news when the left fielder reaches base, because he's come around to score both times he's been on the bag. So now it's the designated hitter, Jaden Harriel, who steps in. He took over for Brad Curtis, who had just 1 at-bat back in the second. Harriel, though, flew out to right field his first time up. That was back in the 4th. Amsterdam almost batted around in that 4th inning, as he takes a big cut at the first pitch that gets away from Jones, who grabs it up, but Hardin, who was on top of it, will take the extra 90 feet on the wild pitch. So now Jones comes out, maybe to discuss a little bit of a miscommunication between O'Connor, with a runner now in scoring position with 1 out. It's been the bottom of this lineup that's done the damage for Amsterdam. Sebastian Hardin, with his single and 2 walks, has scored 2 runs, and then Luke Filippi, who's waiting on deck, is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and 2 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Some more players for the Dragons standing up and starting to move around down in the bullpen, as Nolan Felt was standing in ready for the Dragons, is now sat there, and O'Connor, frustrated, steps off the mound and now calls out Jones. Again, maybe a little bit of a miscommunication from the backstop and the pitcher. Usually with a runner on second, you'll see a little bit of a communication in case some signs are being stolen, but O'Connor may be a little too confused. Asked for Jones to come out, and they can get on the same page. O'Connor shakes off the first pitch to come set. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Jones does a good job to keep the ball in the dirt in front, and O'Connor's got a 1-2 count. O'Connor set, takes 1 look at second. The pitch. Bounces it in the dirt. Goes to that well a little too often. Throws a couple of those off-speed pitches back to back. The 2-2. Gets away from Jones, is outside, and now Harriel has worked himself a full count. So it's a 4-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Glens Falls grabbed 2 of those runs in the top half of the frame. The payoff. Chopped over towards Carpier's at short. He grabs it on the 2-hop, throws the first in time for the out as Harden moves his 90 feet over to third. So now there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th with Sebastian Harden, who stands at third, for the 9-hole hitter Luke Filippi, who's got 2 RBIs to his name today. It's been single day for Luke Filippi. His batting average goes up. His on-base percentage, which is already a mile high, increases. Just like that, mile-high foul ball, which gets out of play. And for Filippi, it's not been the greatest hitting season, just a 178 batting average, but an on-base percentage well above 450 has been a reason he's been a staple in this lineup. Add on the fact that he's got now his 12th and 13th RBIs today, and he leads the team with 38 walks. He's got another RBI spot now, but out of an 0-2 count, he chops this one foul. The center fielder also has got 3 outfield assists this year, so the defense also been stellar. As the 0-2, this one's lined out into deep right field. It's going to get over the head of Falcon, and Filippi's going to have himself a nice stand-up double. His 3rd RBI of the day, gets 1 back for Amsterdam, and again the bottom half for the Mohawks coming in clutch. Harden scores for the 3rd time today, thanks to the 3rd hit off the bat of Luke Filippi, who brings in his 3rd run. It's now 5-2, Amsterdam on top. So the lineup will turn over once again to bring up Chris Holcraft. He watches the first pitch hit the top of the zone. And that double for Luke Filippi, his first double of the season, just his 2nd extra base hit after the home run that he had back in June. The 0-1, well upstairs. The 1-1. Gets the outside half. So O'Connor 1 pinch away from getting out of this after giving up his 1 run. Comes set, takes a look at second. The 1-2. Fouled off. Holcraft had to do an excellent acrobatic move just to hit that pitch on the outside half. We'll redo the 1-2. O'Connor takes a look at second. No one holding on Filippi. The pitch. Another safety swing from Holcraft. The Mohawks trying to keep it going. Get those 2 runs back they gave up in the top of the 5th. They've already got 1 plated. The 1-2 is hit hard down the 3rd base line, but foul. In short field at Shuttleworth Park. You can keep that fair. Understand how Chris Holcraft so far this season has got 9 doubles to his name, using that green monster-esque wall out and left to his advantage. The 1-2 is chopped again. Holcraft has hit 4 straight foul balls. He's not going to go down without a fight. The 1-2 outside. Finally, Holcraft lays off one We've got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. The 2-2 is fouled off. Make it 5 foul balls now for Chris Holcraft. O'Connor's, he's got to earn this out. The 2-2. Chopped weakly over towards Carpier's at short. The throw across the diamond. In time. Great play from Joe Carpier's, who's flashing the leather at Shuttleworth Park, but Amsterdam gets one back. They still lead it 5-2 now as we head to the 6th. Welcome back to Rao Family Stadium. Here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. New pitcher on the mound for Amsterdam. It's Nolan Veit, the big lefty who closed out the last time these two completed a full game in East Field. He's got to face Nick Galello to lead off the top of the 6th as Galello fouls one well off into foul territory. Veit is appearing in his 4th game. He's pitched just 5 1/3 innings. And he's got a 10.13 ERA across those 5 1/3. He's given up 6 earned runs. And he pitched 2 innings against Glens Falls where he gave up 0, so tough outing. His last time as that one from Galello is mashed out to deep right field. No one can see it. And that's because Galello kicked it out of here. How about a 4th home run in 2025 for Nick Galello? The Dragons get that run back, and they now trail it 5-2 here in the top of the 6th. Ball was hit a mile high. The right fielder, McCrane, couldn't see it. And Galello's 4th home run puts him about the elite in the PGCBL. Just 4 players in the entire league can say they've hit 4 home runs. And Nick Galello makes it 5. The first pitch now to Joe Carpier's is outside for ball 1. The benefit of the short porch here at Shuttleworth Park as Carpier's takes that one, lines it out to left field. And Harden makes a diving play. Ball was cutting through the air. And Sebastian Harden had to lay out to steal a hit from Joe Carpier's for the first out. So maybe after Nolan Fight started his 2025 campaign off stellar against the Dragons about a week ago, now the pitcher has maybe come back down to earth, and Glens Falls is looking to hit him and get back into this 2-run deficit. It's a pinch hitter for Glens Falls. It's number 5, Gabe Gifford. He watches the first pitch right down Broadway. Gifford so far this year, not played in many games, most of them out of the bullpen. So he's getting a couple at-bats late in this one. Actually, his first at-bats of the season. Maybe a little change-up from head coach Ryan Dia. The 1-1 is Gifford takes a big cut to dig himself a 1-2 count. Gifford takes over for Enrique Diaz. So Diaz only getting those 2 plate appearances before his day ends. The 1-2, outside. Again, Gifford mostly known to pitch in ball games out of the bullpen. Not really the best pitching year, so maybe the plate will be different. The 2-2 is outside, and now it's a full count for Nolan Fight. Gifford just finished up his freshman campaign at the University of Maine. The payoff. Runs inside, and Gifford takes a big cut. So his first at-bat in 2025 logs his first strikeout. And after giving up a solo shot to start Nolan Fight's day, he's got 2 quick outs afterwards to bring in the designated hitter Jackson Mueller. The first pitch to the big DH is fouled straight back. Fight finished up his freshman campaign over at Niagara. He's on his way to join the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure. And a big lefty arm with some funky stuff, but he's been tattooed a little bit by the Dragons and tattooed a little bit since that first appearance a week and a half ago. The 0-1 is well outside. Mueller's got a little bit of pop to him himself. He leads the Dragons in doubles this year with 6. The 1-1. Well too far outside. Gets straight past Touchstone to the backstop and bounces right back. This has really been the story of Glens Falls as of late. Attacking bullpen arms instead of getting to teams early. The first month of the season, the Dragons needed to score in those first couple runs or else they had no chance. Now it's been comebacks only, where Glens Falls has dug themselves a hole, but their bats have worked their way back. So it's a 2-2 count now to Jackson Mueller. Nobody's on with a run already home thanks to a Nick Galello home run. The 2-2 from Fight. right down Broadway for strike 3. And that's 3 strikeouts today for Jackson Mueller. His 22nd of 2025 ends the inning, but not before Nick Galello adds his 4th home run of 2025 and makes this a 2-run ball game once more. Welcome back to Rao Family Stadium here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. The Dragons got a run back thanks to Nick Galello's 4th home run of 2025. They still trail it 5-3 as we enter the bottom of the 6th. Jake O'Connor stepping out for his 2nd full inning of work. He's got to face the heart of this Amsterdam lineup. It's Brandon McCrane who steps in. It's 2, 3, and 4, but O'Connor gets a first pitch strike to the right fielder. McCrane lost the ball. That was hit by Galello to right field, and understandably so, but that ball just carried and flew out of here at that 330 side. So now a 1-1 count to McCrane. Is outside for ball 2. McCrane today is 0 for 3. He's got a pop out in foul territory, a line out to Gallagher in left, and then a strikeout looking. He fouls that one off to the right-hand side, well out of play. So now McCrane with a 2-2 count. Ball's in the dirt, and it's a full count now for O'Connor. The payoff. Hit over into the right field line, down by the bullpen of Amsterdam, but it'll get over the wall. It's sneaky quick that ball flew down the right field line. It didn't look like it was absolutely mashed off the bat of McCrane, but with it only being 280 to the pole, had that been fair, you're looking at a double for the right fielder. Instead, we get to redo the 3-2 count here in the bottom of the 6th. The payoff. This one's hit down the right field line, but it goes foul again. And the Mohawks dug out and bring it in. O'Connor's had to earn a couple of these outs. had to do it against Chris Holcraft to end the top or the bottom of the fifth. Now he's got to do it again against McCrane. The ninth pitch. This one's lined to center field. Jackson goes back a couple of steps, but he's got that like easy work. Brings it in for out number one. So the dangerous bat of Brandon McCrane has been held hitless today. He's 0 for 4, but the Dragons still trail it by 2. The baton has been passed to the catcher, Bray Touchstone. On the flip side, Touchstone is 2 for 2 today, and he watches the first pitch outside for a ball. The 1-0. This one's popped up into shallow right field. Falcon comes in. Not so much routine, but easy work for out number 2, as O'Connor's got back-to-back flyouts in the bottom of the 6th. So for the first time today, Bray Touchstone is taken down, and now Ryan Dio is coming to have a conversation with Jake O'Connor, and that will be the end of his day. So he works through a full 2 innings, but this was the lineup one time through, and head coach Ryan Dio says that's enough. I'm not going to run the risk of the second time through, and a new pitcher will step in. So we'll step aside for a couple minutes as O'Connor has an excellent performance here in Amsterdam, and a new Dragon starts to warm. We're back at Ralph Family Stadium. The junior from UMass Dartmouth, Aiden Newhall, takes over on the bump for Jake O'Connor. Newhall's first pitch to the cleanup hitter, John McKillop, is outside for a ball. The Mohawks brought in a lefty after 2 pitchers out of the bullpen. Glens Falls responds with a lefty of their own, as Newhall gets a breaking ball on the outside half to even the count at 1 apiece. Now there's going to be a conversation between the field umpire and the home plate umpire, so maybe a little bit of a concern about what Newhall's doing on the mound. Can't imagine what this conversation is about. And now they're saying something about him not being on the rubber. So they're not happy with where Aiden Newhall is setting up. He stands really far to what is, if you're in the batter's box, the left-hand side of the rubber. And as a big lefty with that 3/4 arm slot, it's very funky, especially to a left-handed hitter in John McKillop. So the field umpire decided to say Newhall wasn't on the rubber, and he had to take a half step forward. So now a change of position for Newhall as the 2-0. This one's lined into right field, and it's down for a base knock. So you imagine maybe a little bit of uncomfortability for Aiden Newhall, who has to move nearly a full foot forward just to throw his next pitch, and it's singled into right. The good news, if you're Aiden Newhall, is that a single to start your outing is exactly how Jake O'Connor started his. The very next batter, Will Cowan, was a strikeout looking. The first pitch to Cowan runs inside and almost nails him. And Cowan, his day actually has come to an end. It's going to be a pinch hitter in the lineup. It's number 16, Peyton Jemison, who took over defensively in the back half. So Jemison getting his first at-bat here today. Takes a big cut at the 1-0. Got a nice little breeze on this smoking hot day, as Jemison was right over the top of it. Evens the count at 1 apiece. The plug-and-play third baseman, he's hitting just 194 this season. He's got 7 hits over 36 at-bats as the 1-1 hits the bottom part of the zone and makes the count 1-2. Newhall comes set. The 1-2. Runners on the move. Swung on and missed. Deja vu in the bottom of the 6th. You saw O'Connor give up a single to start his outing and strike out the next batter. Aiden Newhall does the same. Keeps it a 2-run game here at Amsterdam. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park here in Amsterdam, New York. Nolan Fight back on the mound for the Mohawks. And in this warm-up set, if you've been watching, he's thrown quite a few wild pitches. Fight started his outing with a leadoff home run to Nick Galello, and even though he then went 1-2-3 right after it, he was pretty wild in the process. So the big lefty steps back on the mound for his second inning of work, and Amsterdam would love if he can keep it clean. The Dragons hoping that maybe a little bit of that wildness from the St. Bonaventure freshman is going to work in their favor. Again, the stage that's set. Glens Falls hasn't beaten Amsterdam in their last 24 tries. It's a two-run ball game. They got a chance to do it here. The first pitch to the right fielder, Chase Falcon, is swung on and missed. Falcon's 1 for 2 today with a single. He came around as the first run to score for Glens Falls off the second pitcher, Jesse Kuzmich. Fight delivers. That one's outside. So the count is 2-1 to Falcon. It's just the third time through the lineup for Glens Falls here in the seventh. The 2-1 hits the outside half. Falcon not a huge fan of it, but the count's going to even nonetheless at 2-2. The pitch, upstairs, and Fight has worked himself into another full count. The big lefty from Liverpool, done that quite a few times through just the 4 batters he's faced. The payoff, Falcon does a good job to fight it off, and will redo. The 3-2. Upstairs for ball 4. And Chase Falcon uses 7 pitches off the hand of Nolan Fight and works his way down to first to bring in the catcher, Ryan Jones. And just like that, there's going to be a mound visit from the pitching coach, Zach Breen. And we see a big righty for Amsterdam moving in their bullpen. You imagine the string for Nolan Fight can't be much longer. It's been a tough couple of seasons, it has been for Glens Falls against Amsterdam. But when you take their all-time records into account, it is 125-60, and it's pretty lopsided as it is. But over the last 2 seasons, Glens Falls 13-0. Obviously, that 24-game skid dating all the way back to 2022. So the Dragons with a record on the line, as you thought Fight was going to throw over on Falcon. He dove back into first. Instead, the pitch was home to Jones for ball 1. So that'll just go to tell you what the big lefty looks like on the mound as Falcon barely gets off. The 1-0 is a check swing, chopped over the head of Fight. Tried to step on the bag, but no play. Young Jr. tried to field the ball and step on the bag at the same time to deliver what would have been a double play. Instead, it's off his hand, and we'll see how that one's scored.
The second baseman, number 9, Michael Sweeney.
So they'll say it goes on an error on Young Jr. The 4th error for Amsterdam today puts runners on first and second with Sweeney in the plate. He squares to bunt in a little bit of small ball, trying to play from a 2-run deficit. You see Jemison, the new third baseman, playing on the grass, as well as the first baseman, McKillop. The 1-0 runs inside, almost hits Sweeney as he pulls back. So Felt doing a good job keeping the pitches fast, low, and inside. That's how you defend against the bunt, trying to either get it popped foul or popped straight up. The 2-0, Sweeney squares again, pulls back in time, and count is now 3-0. Dio gives him the rollover side, so you imagine that Sweeney is going to square the bunt even in the 3-0 count, probably because Felt has got to give him a pitch to hit. The corners for Amsterdam still in. The 3-0. Pulled back by Sweeney, and it's a 4-pitch walk from Nolan Felt that loads the bases. The go-ahead run stands at first. And the lineup turns over. A big-time at-bat for Michael Sweeney. Even though he was squaring to bunt, had no intentions of swinging away. Has in the flip loaded the bases with the uber-aggressive Tyree Jackson. Jackson so far today, he's 0 for 3, but he's reached base twice, 2 times via an error, and then he flew out to center field. And I said Jackson's uber aggressive. Today, it's been all breaks for the leadoff hitter, as now after a meeting on the mound from the infield of Amsterdam, you'll now have a conversation from the head coach, Keith Griffin, and you imagine Nolan Fight's day has come to an end. The bullpen, or the dugout, comes out, and Amsterdam, they're trying to preserve their 2-run lead. But the tying run stands on second with a new arm coming into the game. Welcome back to Shuttleworth Park, where the bases are loaded for Glens Falls with nobody out and a 2-run ball game. It's the top of the lineup in Tyree Jackson at the plate. He'll welcome the new pitcher, the right-hander from Coastal Alabama North Community College, Mason Veronese. And Veronese's pitched a couple times against Glens Falls, seen some mixed results. And the first pitch he throws out of the bullpen is in the dirt for ball one. So it's Falcon who stands at third, Jones at second, the tying run. Sweeney, the go-ahead run, stands at first. A lot of speed over at the plate as Jackson chops this one back up the middle. It's going to be one out at second and a second at first. So a double play, the second turned by just Chris Holcraft. Gets 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, but it's now a one-run ball game. Falcon came home to score. Jones moved over to third. Sweeney was out on the tag from Holcraft, and then Jackson out on the throw. So now the best hitter in Glens Falls lineup, Aiden Gallagher to the dish with Jones 90 feet from home. He takes the first pitch and fouls it off. A big-time moment for the Dragons. It's now a one-run ball game here at Shuttleworth. Gallagher is 1 for 3 today. He watches the 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Gallagher had a single that scored a run back in the 5th. Would love nothing more than to do it again. The 1-1. Hits the outside half. Gallagher doesn't like it. Count becomes 1-2. Gallagher this season has got 11 RBIs. That leads the Dragons. The 1-2 pitch. Outside. So Jones 90 feet from home. A one-run ball game. Veronese comes set. The 2-2 bounced in the dirt, gets away from Touchstone, but stays in front of the plate. Bray Touchstone pulling out all the stops to keep this game in favor of Amsterdam. So the count draws full. Best hitter at the plate. Bullpen arm for Amsterdam. Veronese gets the sign to come set. The payoff in the dirt for ball 4, and Gallagher will take his way down to first. So now runners stand at the corners with the big slugger of Nick Galello. He's already got a home run in today's ball game, and we saw head coach Ryan Dio try the first and third play. We know Gallagher has got wheels over at first. He's got 13 stolen bags this year. Maybe they try it again. This time, bigger stakes would tie this ball game. Veronese comes set. The first pitch to Galello is swung on and missed. Galello went deep into the dirt to grab that one. Maybe a little bit of nerves makes it an 0-1 count. The 0-1. Breaking ball gets the outside half. The 0-2, runners on the move. That one's lined straight at the shortstop, Holcraft. An excellent play from Chris Holcraft over at short. Steals a base hit from Nick Galello and keeps Amsterdam's one-run lead. They've got it 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's now a one-run ball game here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. The Dragons' offense is picking away. They were shut out through the first 4. Since then, they scored 2, 1, and 1. And Amsterdam has been shut down themselves. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the Mohawks lineup. John Young Jr. gets it started. So far today, he's 0 for 3. First time he's facing Newhall, who gets a first pitch strike on the second baseman. Amsterdam so far today has committed 4 errors. One of them belongs to Young Jr. The other 3 did belong to Will Cowan, who's no longer in the game. Cowan was replaced by Peyton Jemison defensively back in the top of the 5th. The 1-1 to Young Jr. is hit weakly on the ground over to the third baseman, Gifford. He throws across and skies it over Galello at first. Jones is there to back it up. So now Young Jr. will reach via an error of the third baseman, Gabe Gifford.
Left fielder number 32, Sebastian Harden.
That's the third error of the day for Glens Falls. Say that broadcaster's curse exists. There it is once again. 2 of the 3 errors for the Dragons have come from third base. One's from Enrique Diaz, the other from Gabe Gifford. So puts a runner on first with Sebastian Harding to the dish. He squares the bunt, pulls back as the ball is outside. Harding today has had a heck of a day. He's 1 for 1 with 2 walks. And every time he's gotten on base, he's come around to score. The 1-0 from Newhall as Harden squares the bunt. The breaking ball is right down Broadway. So you see head coach Keith Griffin, who's down the third baseline, he's frustrated, telling Harden just to put it in play. Even if he could just drag bunt it out there, move the runner forward. The 1-1, Harden squares the bunt, pulls back this time again, and it stays outside. Counts 2-1. The runner, Young Jr. at first, has got 9 stolen bags. He's got speed. They just want to put him in scoring position with 1 out. The 2-1 bounces and hits Harden. So Newhall, in his first full inning of work, has a runner reach via an error and then hits the next. And it's not good news for this Dragon squad, because Amsterdam will absolutely light up the scoreboard. If you give them a crack, they'll kick the door down. So we've got a pinch hitter for the designated hitter. Brad Curtis took 1 at bat. His day came to an end. Then it was Jaden Harriel who stepped in. Now it'll be number 35, Wes Walker, as head coach Keith Griffin is going to call a timeout, have the entire staff, including the first base coach, come and have a chat on the left side as the home plate umpire writes in the substitution. So Wes Walker, one of the other guys that can catch for this team, getting in at bat in a really important spot for Amsterdam. They need to increase their lead, with Glens Falls just continuing to pick it piece by piece, part by part. They are nabbing at this Amsterdam lead. They need to get one back and put some pressure on the Dragons. Walker, who steps into the dish for the first time today, is hitting .286 with 9 RBIs this season. He's got 4 doubles to his name, a triple as well. Walker squares the bunt, and he misses it as it gets away from Jones. Keith Griffin throws his hands up in disgust because Wes Walker missed a breaking ball down Broadway for strike one. A premier pitch that would have put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out was missed by the pinch hitter. So Griffin gives his signs once more, dancing over at second. Both runners on the move. The pitch out. The throw from Jones. Not in time. An excellent throw from Ryan Jones. Just saw Young Jr. get his foot in there by a half a step. So Coach Griffin saw enough of the bunt attempts. Instead, he just told his players to run. And John Young Jr. picks up his 10th stolen bag of the year to put 2 runners in scoring position. The 1-1 to Walker is upstairs for ball 2. So now the infield for Glens Falls comes in. A play that's hit weakly in, you'll see them come home to prevent a run from scoring. The 2-1 misses upstairs. There'll be a reset from Newhall. A big spot for Glens Falls. They need to have their defense step up. The 3-1. Outside, gets away from Jones behind the plate, and a run is gonna come home to score. A wild pitch from Aiden Newhall. Walks Wes Walker and brings home a run. And makes it a 6-4 game with nobody out. So Hardin moves over to third. Young Jr. scores to give the Mohawks some insurance, and now head coach Ryan Dio comes out because Newhall's day is going to come to an end. The time where the Dragons pitching staff needed to come in clutch, they falter. And now there's runners on the corners with nobody out. We'll step aside with the new pitcher getting warm. And the Dragons have got to clutch up soon. Back in Amsterdam, New York, taken over on the mound is Cameron Biller, who returns to the baseball diamond after 9 days away, where he took what seemed like a 95-mile-an-hour comebacker off the bat of George Baker against the Saugherty Stallions back on July 7th. He comes in with a big situation as a bunt attempt is popped up. Jones bings it in, and Luke Filippi, who is trying to bunt a couple of runners over, instead pops himself into the first out. So maybe those 9 days off for Cam Biller worked in his favor. Gets a pop out to the catcher as his first out, but the lineup turns over. So again, Biller took that absolute moonshot off the bat of George Baker. It went off, luckily, his glove hand. They said it was just a bone bruise, but he looked pretty shaken up, had to come out of the game in that one. He's now back on the mound in a big spot for Glens Falls. Chris Holcraft, the leadoff hitter, in the lineup. The runner's on the move. No throw from Jones will allow Wes Walker with ease to move into second. Walker adds a stolen base to his tenure. That's just the second base of the season for Wes Walker. Wasn't really moving down the line all that much. The infield for Glens Falls comes in as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed from Holcraft. A big-time spot for Cam Biller. Keep this game where it's at. Comes set. The 0-2. Hit on the ground, up the middle for a base knock. One run will come home to score. Walker is sent. The throw from Jackson is cut off. And Amsterdam has taken a 4-run lead again. They've got it 8-4 here in the bottom of the 7th. So a 2 RBI single for Chris Holcraft. His second single of the day. Increases. Brings him RBIs 20 and 21 in the year. And makes it a 4-run game. Biller's next pitch to Brendan McCrane gets away from Jones behind the plate. And Holcraft will take second on the wild pitch. So the Dragons were within 1 with a runner on third and 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Now with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, they trail by 4. The 1-0 swung on and missed from McCrane. Mentioned those torpedo bats a little bit earlier. McCrane, you could see it, that using that bat. The 1-1 takes a big cut there. A lot of batters for Amsterdam, and according to assistant coach Eric Downey, who's one of their hitting coaches, something that he's actually been a big fan of using and is promoted to his staff and his team this entire year has been to use those new torpedo-style bats and reap the benefits. Brendan McCrane has certainly done that so far this season, boasting a .316 batting average with it, and McCrane not a big fan of how long Biller is taken on the mound, so he'll step off and reset. So Biller now comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Outside. So Biller had a tough spot to inherit. Runners on first and third. Got 1 out, but just couldn't keep it clean throughout. And as a result, the Mohawks have jumped back to a big lead. The 2-2 is a breaking ball on the inside corner. And it's the first strikeout for Cam Biller out of the bullpen.
Now batting the first baseman from Army, number 40,
So now a bunch of substitutions for head coach Keith Griffin.
Corrections to catcher, number 18, Bray Touchstone.
Excuse me, no. Substitutions is still Bray Touchstone, one of the best hitters for Amsterdam, stepping in this time with 2 outs. The first pitch he sees, he chops over towards the third baseman, Gifford. He fields it on a hop, the throw across the diamond in time. So Gifford makes a good play on the 2-hopper down the base path and makes a strong throw to Golello at first. Glens Falls trails by 4 now, but they can still pick apart as we enter the 8th. A 4-run ball game here at Rao Family Stadium at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. Joe Carpier steps into the box. He's got to start the comeback for the Dragons. So far today, Carpier's is 1 for 3. Had a single back in the 4th, lined out, and a weak ground out as well. He's first pitch swinging, back up the middle, and into center for a base knock. Who says the broadcaster's curse is actually real? Say they need to start the comeback, and Carpier's does so. Has a leadoff single to bring up Gabe Gifford.
Now batting, the freshman from Dame, number 5, Gabe Gifford.
Gifford, who got his first at-bat of the season, struck out swinging back in the 6th. He watches that pitch upstairs. It's Mason Veronese that's back out on the mound for Amsterdam. The 1-0 bounces in the dirt. Touchstone keeps it in front. The 2-0 now. Outside. And now Veronese getting a little wild. Made the count 3-0. The pitch. Runs inside and gets the inside half. Looked like it came in, nearly hit Gifford, but home plate umpire says it was in the zone. So count will be 3-1 now. Veronese's pitch. Upstairs for ball 4. So it's a 5-pitch walk to Gabe Gifford that puts runners on first and second with nobody out.
The designated hitter, number
The designated hitter, Jackson Mueller, steps into the box, and now all of a sudden there's going to be a conversation from head coach Keith Breen, maybe about the batting order and maybe the confusion with Gabe Gifford coming in and taking the spot of Enrique Diaz, or maybe an order situation. So home plate umpire is going to have a conversation, and you could just see the dugout of Glens Falls kind of be a little confused. Maybe there's a situation. Ryan Dio coming in a couple of steps from third base. Now he's going to slowly walk his way towards home. Not that the book of the broadcaster matters, but it seems pretty clean to me. Galello is who ended the top of the seventh, which meant Carpier's who stands on second. And now they're going to call out Gabe Gifford. So for some reason, they're going to say Gabe Gifford's out of this ball game. I don't quite exactly know why. But now that's the first out of the frame, and Carpier's has to go back to first. So a brutal case for Glens Falls, who would have loved to have had two runners on with nobody out. Instead, it's one runner on with one out. The first pitch to Jackson Mueller is chopped over towards the third baseman, Jemison. He throws the first in time to get Mueller. And all the momentum for Glens Falls has been sucked away. Carpier's advances back to second finally, as Mueller avoids the golden sombrero with a ground out to third. So now Chase Falcon, the right fielder, steps in. He's 1 for 2. And he's first pitch swinging. That one back up towards the middle. Holcraft fields it, throws across in time. And now Amsterdam can grab some insurance before they need just 3 outs in the top of the ninth. We're back at Rao Family Stadium here at Shuttleworth Park, and Gabe Gifford, not a rostered member on the lineup card for the Dragons, so he becomes an automatic out in an unfortunate situation where the Dragons had 2 runners on and nobody out. Instead, Gifford's got to come out of this game as that one is hit by McKillop over towards the second baseman. An excellent play by the new second baseman. You got to get who that is. Michael Sweeney has moved over, and that's Christian Moat. So Moat off the bench, or excuse me, not Christian Moat. That's James Houghton. So James Houghton off the bench makes an excellent sliding play in the gap of first and second to get John McKillop and steal a single. That ball to Peyton Jemison is fouled out of play. So Sweeney, who was the second baseman, will now move over to third. And Houghton will go into second. The 0-1 from Biller is upstairs to Jemison. So Biller in his first full inning of work has got now a 1-1 pitch, or 1-1 count to Peyton Jemison. He went down swinging his first time as that one's fouled off over towards the Mohawks dugout, but hits just off the top and bounces back into fair territory. So the count will be 1-2 with one gone here in the bottom of the eighth. The Dragons offense will have just 3 outs to get back at least 4 runs and try to snap what is a 24-game losing skid to this Amsterdam Mohawks team. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. How about another strikeout, the second of the day for Cam Biller? Puts Jemison down swinging for the second time and makes it 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the eighth.
The second baseman, number 3, John Young Jr.
As we reach the 10 o'clock hour, Shuttleworth Park has thinned out just a tiny bit, but still quite a bit of fanfare in the stadium. All of the short porch out in right field, and then that bleacher section along the foul line by the bullpen has cleared. But the fancy seats behind home and the bleachers are still plenty full. The first pitch now to John Young Jr. is a breaking ball that had no chance of hitting the zone for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch runs inside, almost nails the second baseman. Makes the count 2-0 as Biller screams out to his catcher Jones and says, "My fault." So Biller went to go set up out of the stretch. Instead, he'll go from the windup. The 2-0 spikes it. Now it's a 3-0 count to Young Jr. The second baseman, he's 0 for 4 today. He reached via an error and then came around to score. But he's flown out twice and popped out. The 3-0 pitch is a breaking ball outside, and in his 5th at-bat of the day, he draws a 4-pitch walk.
The left fielder, number 32, Sebastian Harden.
Sebastian Harden has had a stellar day as well. He's 1 for 1 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch, 3 runs to his name. A stolen base as well in there. And that one time he didn't come around to score, well, he stood at third and was stranded 90 feet from home. The first pitch he sees runs inside, almost nails him in the head. So now Jones will go out and talk with Biller on the bump. So Harden made his name known today. Biller just trying to keep it clean, get the final out before his offense can start to make a comeback. They look like they might have done getting somewhere in the top of the 8th, but then that mistake from head coach Ryan Dio coming to bite Glens Falls. So they're going to go check over at first with Young Jr. So that big mistake really hurts the Dragons, hurts their comeback attempts, as they now just have 3 outs. The 1-0 is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Biller was attacking these Amsterdam hitters, throwing pitches in the zone. Now he's starting to get a little wild. The 2-0, runner fakes like he's taking off, and the pitch misses inside. So it's been 7 straight balls for Cam Biller, and you imagine if you're Sebastian Harden, the take sign all the way is going to be on. Make the big righty prove that he can come to you. They'll check over on Young Jr. at first. He gets back in there with ease. The 3-0, right down Broadway. And after 7 consecutive balls, Cam Biller finally gets one across. Biller knows what he needs to throw. 3-1 count. The pitch. Runner's on the move. That one's chopped in between third and short into left. Gallagher grabs it. Young Jr. advancing to third. He's in there safely. So John Young Jr. showing off a little bit of the wheels he's got. Went first to third on a single to right. And he got banged up a little bit on the tag from Michael Sweeney. The trainer is going to come out and have a talk with him. He took a headfirst dive into third. And Gallagher, who tried to get an outfield assist with Sweeney, applied a really tough tag to the second baseman. It's the second single for Sebastian Harden today. He now is 2 for 2. He's reached base in every plate appearance. And Amsterdam is doing this all with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. This is a team that's not content with a 4-run lead. They want more. So Young Jr. finally comes to a knee standing on third base. Looks like he might have just been shaken up. Trainer is having a conversation with him, making sure he's not smacked in too hard upon the head, and now he's back to both feet. Double check with the head coach and the trainer. Taking just that extra half a second to breathe. And he seems to be all right. So runners will stand on the corners for Amsterdam.
Number 35, Wes
With
Walker.
the designated hitter, Wes Walker, coming to the plate. Walker drew a walk his first time up. That was back in the 7th. And then he stole second. Grabbed his second stolen base of the year, but it was part of a double steal with Harden. The first pitch Walker sees is inside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch outside for ball 2. Biller almost looks impatient on the mound, trying to just know he's throwing fastballs. The 2-0 pitch is well too far outside. And over the last 11 pitches, over the last 13 pitches, Biller has thrown just 2 strikes. Has a walk, gave up a single, and now he's got a 3-0 count. That's fouled off by Walker. So Biller trying to work his way back. There's a foul ball off. Ryan Jones behind home plate. His home plate umpire will go talk with Biller. Give Jones a second to settle in. Walker with the second at bat. Drew a walk his first time. Amsterdam, they're not content. They want more. 2 outs. They're going to go check over at first. A little slow move from Biller allows Harden to get back to first with ease. It's a 3-1 count to Walker. It's Harden that stands over at first. Young Jr. stands at third. Runners on the move. The pitch inside for ball 4. A walk, a single, and a walk load the bases for Cam Biller with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Nobody's warm for Glens Falls in their bullpen, meaning Biller's got it until the end. With a 9-hole hitter, Luke Filippi. Filippi today's 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double, 3 RBIs to his name as well. The first pitch to the center fielder, runs inside and almost nails him. Biller's done that a couple of times today. Run a ball up inside and almost nailed the batter. The 1-0. This one's popped up out into right field. Falcon's got to come in towards the line, and he got it for out number 3. So Biller keeps any runs from scoring in the bottom of the 8th, and the Dragons have just 3 outs to work with. They got to come back from down 4. The hometown kid looks to close it out. From Rao Family Stadium at Shuttleworth Park here in Amsterdam, New York. It's number 17, Manny Santos, the freshman from Rhode Island, who's grew up here in Amsterdam, New York, comes in for the top of the 9th to close it down. Not had the best 2025 Manny Santos has got an ERA that stands at 11.71, and that's over 8 appearances. He's pitched in just 7 2/3, and he's given up 10. But the Mohawks, they've given Santos a 4-run lead, and they're hoping that 8, 9, and 1 is not too much for Manny Santos to handle. It's Ryan Jones that gets it started for the Dragons. The comeback attempt starts with the backstop. He gets to greet Manny Santos. The first pitch from the Amsterdam native is fouled off out into the parking lot, and some heat from the righty. Jones so far today is 0 for 3, but he reached via an error in the 6th. Now, Santos doesn't inherently like a couple of the baseballs that he's seen, so home plate umpire is going to go back and get a couple of new ones. And the closer comes out and trying to be perfect. Santos does have a save this year, but he's also got an 0-1 record. And Santos has got 11 strikeouts, but he's also got 10 free passes. So a little bit of everything does Santos as he takes a big stretch on the mound and gets ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch, which is swung on from Jones. Santos delivering heat down the pipe. Makes it an 0-2 count to the catcher. So Jones steps back in. The 0-2, outside. Jones does a good job to watch that pitch. He's got to try to make a comeback. The Dragons, at one point in this game, trailed 5-4. Back in the top of the 7th, they had the tying run just 90 feet from home. As Jones goes down swinging. It's the first strikeout for Manny Santos to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Michael Sweeney. But that out, Glens Falls having that 1-run deficit in the top of the 7th. Just a couple of outs later, they trailed it by 4. The game has stayed there ever since as Sweeney watches the first pitch strike. The 0-1 to Sweeney is swung on and missed. Sweeney so far today, he's 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch, came around to score, and then drew a walk back in the 7th. The 0-2 from Santos is chopped on the ground, weakly over to the right-hand side, picked by the shortstop. Santos covering, gets the play. Young Jr. grabbed the play in shallow right field after McKillop came off the bag, tried to make a diving grab himself. And Santos, the pitcher, did an excellent job to cover the bag for out number 2. So not your everyday 4-1 putout. Is out number 2 in the top of the 9th, and Tyree Jackson, the last hope. He watches the first pitch outside. Jackson, who's normally uber aggressive, swinging at first pitches, trying to get on in any way possible today, has been anything but. Super patient, letting the pitcher come to him. The 1-0 is chopped on the ground. This one over to Jemison at third. The throw across the diamond, picked, and off the bag was McKillop, so Jackson will reach. They don't call it a 2-out rally for nothing. Tyree Jackson, the leadoff hitter, reaches. And we're going to see what they rule that, whether it's a base hit or an error. It looks like it's going to go down as a base knock for Tyree Jackson. He's got those wheels. He was able to beat it out down the line. Bring up the best hitter of Aiden Gallagher. The first pitch Gallagher sees, takes a check swing. And they'll say it was in the zone, so it's strike 1. Tyree Jackson picked up his first hit of the day. That makes him 1 for 5. Gallagher, on the other hand, he's 1 for 4 so far. The 0-1 missed too far inside. This game here at Shuttleworth Park has been a very long one. We're reaching the 3.5-hour marker as we get to 10:15. The 1-1. This one's lined out into deep right center field. That one's got to get over the head. Jackson with his wheels. He's going to be sent home. Gallagher pushing towards third. The relay throw, not in time. So in the top of the 9th with 2 outs, Aiden Gallagher mashes a triple to right center field. Brings home Tyree Jackson to score. And Gallagher now tallies his first triple of the year and makes this a 3-run ball game. That was with 2 strikes, too. Now the guy that's already got a long ball in today's matchup. As now they're going to check on Jemison, who went down on the relay throw over to third. And Trainer came out and checking on him. So put a little pause in this game a little bit further. Nick Galello steps to the plate. Had that 4th home run back in the 6th. At that point, it made it a 5-3 game. And then the Dragons would add one more to make it 5-4 before Amsterdam just cruised on. It looks like head coach Keith Griffin is going to come out and take Jemison out of this ball game. But that home run from Galello puts him into 3rd in the PGCBL, tied 3rd for most home runs this season. He's one of 7 players to have 4+ homers in 2025. He sits 1 behind Jamie Z, the Saugerties Stallions outfielder, who's got 5 home runs. So within reach for a very hot hitter is Nick Galello. It's the heart of the Dragons lineup, so if Glens Falls is to make a comeback, this is the part of the lineup they want up to do it. As Jemison steps up and he's going to walk off the field at his own strength. And that'll bring on a new 3rd baseman for Amsterdam. It's number 0, Danny Perez, who will go take over the hot corner.
The new third baseman for the Mohawks, freshman from Stetson, number 0, Danny Perez.
So Perez is going to take a couple of ground balls across the diamond, but just one from Perez is all he needs, as Santos is going to take a couple of warm-up pitches on the mound. So it's Gallagher after a 2-out, 2-strike triple here in the top of the 9th that brought a run home to score to make this an 8-5 ball game. Nick Galello steps into the box. Has already got a home run today. He stands, would make this a 1-run ball game. First pitch, Galello sees is chopped over towards Dio, who makes an excellent play on the 2-hop. Strike 1 to the first baseman. Even with the clock reaching past 10:15 and this being now officially a 3.5-hour ball game, the energy here at Rowe Family Stadium is still vibrant from the Mohawk fans. The 0-1 pitch. Galello fouls that straight back, and now the count is 0-2. Santos is 1 strike away. Santos needs just 1. Galello, 1 for 4 with the homer. Santos comes set. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And the Mohawks get the win. The streak increases to 25 as the Dragons fall to Amsterdam. 8-5 your final here at Shuttleworth Park. The Dragons had made it oh so close. It was a 1-run ball game. The tying run 90 feet from home. Instead, they can't bring it home, and it goes unsuccessful. 8-5 is your final. And the Dragons, they don't have a whole lot of time before they have to reset tomorrow. Back at East Field, starts a 4-game homestand against Oneonta, where Glens Falls looks to get back on track. They've got a couple of easy ones, Oneonta and then the Albany Athletics, a game that doesn't count on Friday, but it's Billy Floyd night. So you'll want to come support Billy Floyd, who looks to play all 9 positions across all 9 innings. And then it's Amsterdam again. That one's on Saturday, so a chance at redemption with then Saugerties on Sunday. That'll be all from Rao Family Stadium here at Shuttleworth Park in Amsterdam, New York. From the entire Dragon staff, it's been a pleasure. I've been Nathaniel Cunningham. The Dragons drop their 25th straight to Amsterdam, 8-5.